Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW Newscast. I am Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, as always, and today this is ACW Newscast number 43. This is actually our second newscast of this week, so aren't you the lucky little bastards? But today we're going to talk about a few topics, and obviously we're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on in ACW in terms of signings, and also I do actually have a breaking announcement of who is being released this week as well. We're also going to talk about the shows from Excel and Impulse that came from this week. We're also going to talk about your questions, and I know you guys sent me a lot of questions through YouTube and Facebook, and I will finally get to answer pretty much most of them. So thank you guys for sending those questions and comments to me throughout the entire week or two. And plus, I wanted to also talk about to those that watch ACW or who watch CAW in general, and they want to figure out how they want to start their own little CAW League, how they want to kind of get themselves involved with CAW. I'm going to talk to you guys about how you guys can do that and how it was difficult for me in your position to do that at first and how you can start doing it now in 2014. But first of all, we're going to talk about ACW news as always. So, a lot of things happened this week. As you guys know, we'll talk about the Excel side first. As you now know, we now have our 4 participants in our gauntlet match coming up this upcoming Monday night on Excel 29 to determine Haru Glory's opponent for his Excel Championship at High Voltage next month. It will be the following 4: Aang, Momochi Zabuza, Donkey Kong, and Hiei. Now, if you guys do not know how a gauntlet match works, at least in ACW terms, here's how it works. Two of those participants will start out the match, and then after one of them loses, the third participant will enter and replace. And then the loser of that match will be replaced by the final opponent, and then the winner between that final match will be the one that wins the gauntlet, who will go on at High Voltage to face Haru Glory for the Excel Championship. So that's how it pretty much works. So I want to know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is going to win the gauntlet match this upcoming Excel 29? Do you guys think it's going to be the Avatar Aang? I mean, Aang has been the guy that's been given memorable matches and moments here in ACW, but he's never been able to win the big one. He's never been able to win the big World Championship on Excel. Could this be the final gateway, the final window of opportunity for Aang to actually reach that goal? Or how about Momochi Zabuza? Momochi Zabuza has been on the warpath, going through a lot of people just to get the opportunity to become a potential ACW Excel champion. Do you think maybe Momochi Zabuza is a person that could take down Haru Glory's title reign? Then you've got Donkey Kong. You've got a big behemoth. You've got a powerhouse. A guy that was undefeated when he debuted in 2008. And a guy that is always in contention and always a favorite. Somebody that, in terms that Haru Glory has not really faced one-on-one. And it would prove to be his biggest challenge, literally and figuratively. So could Donkey Kong be the person that, wins the gauntlet and becomes to be proving a challenge to Haru Glory? And then obviously you've got Hiei, and everybody that's an ACW fan that has watched Excel for years at this point know the documented history between Haru Glory and Hiei. You're talking about a Hiei that came up to Haru Glory in his first night on Excel and attacked him just to become a potential title contender. When he lost his first time on a mega event, he took it personal and attacked Haru Glory's wife and kidnapped Ellie Glory, to the point where it messed up Haru Glory physically and mentally for those upcoming weeks. And then Haru Glory would beat him again in the rematch. And then just this past month, he was involved in a Fatal 4-Way match for the Excel Championship and lost that match too. So in 3 mega events straight, he has lost the opportunity to become the Excel Champion. But can 4th time, I guess, be the charm for Hiei, in the sense that he can finally win the title off Haru? You never know. So these are 4 viable contenders for Haru Glory's title. The question is, who is going to be that person to try and dethrone Haru Glory? And as you guys know, Haru Glory is no small feat. He will fight until he can't fight anymore. You guys should know that by now. So it's going to be an interesting perspective of how that goes in the weeks ahead. So High Voltage is coming to you guys next month. And also Excel 29 will be coming to you guys this Monday night. So hopefully you guys get hyped. Get hyped. And then on the Impulse side, we're coming off of an Impulse where we had Gohan retain his ACW Impulse Championship against Ryu in their 3rd encounter between those two for the title inside a steel cage match. Now, during the match, you've had the likes of Trunks trying to stop Broly from interfering. You even had the likes of Goku physically getting involved and preventing Vegeta from interfering. Now, people are questioning about the power outage. People are questioning about the power outage that happened during the match, where I believe Ryu was going for a move, power outage happened, something happened during that ring, and then it knocked out Ryu, and it was able for Gohan to climb to the door and escape the cage. Now, what we can gather from that, waking up this Monday morning, what we can gather from that from the arena was that when Goku slammed Vegeta's face onto the electrical box, that was what caused the power outage during that match, allowing Gohan to do whatever he did to be able to escape from that match. So let's put it this way. Gohan got lucky. Again, Gohan got lucky. So, a lot of people are pissed off that Gohan retained. I do not blame you. This is Gohan's third time winning and retaining the Impulse Championship from Ryu in a controversial fashion. We all know this, that Gohan does not play fair. This is not the Gohan you guys know from the past. This is not the Great Saiyaman. This is not the Mystic Gohan. This is not the Gohan who was always fighting with heart. This was not the Gohan from D-Generation X when he partnered with Naruto Uzumaki in ACW's early days. This is an entirely different Gohan, and you guys need to understand that now. I even got one commentator that's saying that, switch the G and H of Gohan's name, and he's pretty much Hollywood Hogan. And yeah, Hollywood Gohan, that's pretty much who Gohan is now, guys. Except Gohan is doing way worse things that Hogan could ever imagine. The Saiyan regime is taking over right now in Impulse. And the one that has all the power is Gohan, because he is the Impulse champion. But Goku laid down the bombshell that at Apocalypse it will be Ryu and Trunks teaming up to face Gohan and Broly in a hardcore tag team match in our main event. However, if Ryu or Trunks is able to pin Gohan in that match, they will officially become the #1 contender to Gohan for his title at any given opportunity. So Gohan is without many options right now, folks. Maybe Gohan's time as Impulse Champion is starting to tick downward. We don't know. Hopefully we can. Hopefully. So, we're going to find out the aftermath of Impulse 33 from this week. We'll find that out next Thursday night with Impulse 34. Now, also, Excel has acquired 2 new talents to their roster, as you guys know already, as Bomb Mito and Genji Yamano of the Get Backers. If you guys don't know who they are, search it on YouTube, watch the anime. I personally love the anime. I feel like they should have gotten another season or 2. I feel like they didn't address the fortress enough as much as they could have. I thought the second season was rushed. Not rushed, because it was more filler. But that's the thing. The fillers were fine, though. The fillers were fine in the series. There maybe have been a bit too much of them, but they were fine fillers. The dialogue could have used some work, but the dialogue of that show could have used some work, but it was passable. But I felt the season 2 finale and the series finale in general was a bit rushed, and I think it could have explored more options and more story into it. So I thought the Get Backers could have had another season or 2. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, search them on YouTube and watch the anime. It's pretty good for what it is. But Bomb Mito and Genji Yamano, the known team as the Get Backers, will be appearing on ACW Excel very soon. We don't know the specific dates, but we just know that they will be appearing soon. And this could be a big shakeup in the tag team division on Excel. The current Excel tag team champions are the Little Fighters. And you got other teams lurking around like Street Fighters, who are kind of right now inactive right now. You've got the team of Team Guy with Rock Lee and Neji. You've got the Knights of the Zodiac with Zay and Ikki. You got Hibiki Tokai and Kazuki Muto as a team. You've got the occasional tag team of Straight Cougar and Solid Snake. You've even got the occasional tag team now of Kaneki Man and Kakashi Atake. And now you've got the Get Backers signed onto Excel. So the tag team division is really growing in depth, and it's really getting interesting. And you gotta wonder, will the Little Fighters truly keep those titles for as long as they say they will? Also, another acquired talent that was revealed last night on Impulse 33. If you guys did not watch Impulse 33, first of all, pause this video, create a new tab, go watch Impulse 33, the whole thing, and then once you're done, close that tab, come back here. See? I helped you out there, because Hakeem loves you. But no, in all seriousness though, um, if you guys don't know, we have a new talent that was signed to ACW Impulse. Actually, this news was revealed the day before Impulse 33 on our Facebook page. Make sure you go to our Facebook page as facebook.com/animecwrestling. That's facebook.com/animecwrestling for all the breaking news and details that you won't really find on YouTube and even on our website at times. But it was revealed that Goku, the Impulse general manager, made a sign-in, made a new signed talent for Impulse, and it was revealed to be the Dark Magician of Yu-Gi-Oh fame. The Dark Magician is something Goku has quoted as somebody he's been trying to bring in for quite some time, but certain situations didn't apply for him to do so, but now he has the opportunity to bring him. So now the Dark Magician is coming to ACW Impulse. Another game changer. You've got somebody whose skill is quite unique in its own sense. You know, he doesn't look the part, but that doesn't mean his strength, his power, and his speed doesn't accommodate to anything. But Goku has been trying to bring this signed talent. I think this is actually Goku's first big signing in a while. So, kind of think of it this way. You know how Triple H, when he started to take over the day-to-day operations of WWE, I think his first big signing was Mystico, the former Sin Cara. And then he brought the likes of Karma as well. So this is kind of like the same situation with Goku. He's been trying to bring in the Dark Magician for quite some time. He finally brought him in, and now he'll be debuting soon. Again, we don't know a specific date for him as well, but he will be debuting soon on Impulse. So that should be very fun. Now, we do want to address that. We do have a little bit of breaking news that came out this Friday morning here. But Roger Smith, or sources around Roger Smith this morning, have informed that Where Garurumon has been released from ACW Excel. Let me repeat that again. Where Garurumon has been released from ACW Excel. If you guys don't know, the last time you saw Where Garurumon was at Ground Zero, where he lost to Solid Snake in that match between those two. Where Garurumon, however, did defeat Solid Snake at the Fusion pre-show in 2012, and that's actually something you can see here on YouTube if you search for it. But we want to wish Where Garurumon the best in future endeavors. Hopefully we can see a return back. Never say never, but that is the news going around here with ACW Excel in terms of Roger Smith release of Where Garurumon. So, there you have it there. So that pretty much covers everything with ACW. Stick around the Facebook page and on the website for more news that we might get on other ACW related news. Now, we're going to go over your questions and comments that you guys have sent to me this week or two that I want to get addressed right now. So we're going to start over the YouTube side here. 1989 Worms 1 asked me, what is your favorite ACW Click preview and why? That's an interesting one. Because, I'll be honest, there are certain mega events or Click previews, as I used to call them, that we had, I wasn't a fan of doing. And then there were there were others that I had really fun with. But my all-time favorite, I think it has to be Animania 2. I truly think it has to be Animania 2, if I recall. Because when I was editing and putting together Animania 2, it was something different than anything I did with ACW mega events at the time. Just like I want to do with Animania 3 this year and make it bigger than any Animania I've done, which is just 2, but still. That's the mindset I had back then in 2009 with ACW Animania 2. And back in 2007, 2008, 2009, we were just starting. We were just starting ACW. There were a lot of things that we were trying to get through that were hard. A lot of things in my life that were going on that were hard, that kind of collided with ACW. We were just starting promotion. And after Animania, we took our hiatus or whatever. I know we didn't even take our hiatus. We just kept going at it. But I wanted to make Animania 2 a big event. And now people still to this day talk about Animania 2. They still talk about Gohan's heel turn and the end of Degeneration X with Naruto Uzumaki becoming the Impulse champion he is now. That is thanks to Animania 2. People still talk about, well, where's Beast Boy? I haven't seen Beast Boy. Well, Beast Boy's no longer here, but people still talk about that. People still talk about, Haru Glory's Excel title match win. People still talk about the production value that I did with Animania 2. Still, people still talk about Animania 2 in passing, so I have to say Animania 2 is my favorite, just because I was excited at the time what I can bring to ACW in a whole different level at that time, and what I can really contribute to CAW at that time as well. Like I want to do this year, and how I want Animania and ACW in general to be bigger than it ever has been. And that's something I really like to do, and that's something I really want to do this year. So, to answer your question, I think Animania 2 is my favorite mega event. Yeah, my favorite mega event of all time. I don't think I can really deny that. So, hopefully that answers your question. Sorry, Zeldade, if I say that right, 123, actually left a comment on my last newscast that was actually from this Monday. But he said, actually, I faded out from WWE years ago, mainly from overfocus on Triple H, and is totally not the corporation faction. Haha, sarcasm. I tried to give it another chance with the Ultimate Warrior tribute show on Raw. I thought they'd do what they did with Owen Hart and kill the storylines for the night, and have a few exhibition matches, because I sincerely doubt that The Rock had a major feud with Val Venus in the Attitude Era. I was wrong. They kept going with storylines, and worst of all, one of which involving Triple H. If they're not going to pay a tribute to someone who revolutionized the industry, regardless of calling draws the cripple and his anti-gay tirades properly, I'm not bothering with this company. TNA ended up becoming what it was trying to avoid, and I don't want to go near ROH because of its idiot fanbase. I can understand the dissension from WWE, especially these recent past few years, including this one this year. I still watch WWE to an extent. I'll be honest with you right now. I think leading to this Money in the Bank just passed, but the build-up leading to that pay-per-view, I was not watching Raw a lot. Now, that could be attributed because I had work on Monday nights, so I wasn't really watching Raw live. But by the time I would, either come home from work, I'm tired, so I go to sleep, and then by the time I wake up, it's like, I read the results anyways. I really don't feel like going back and watching because I read them, and I'm not really impressed. So, and also, think of it this way. Think of the current state of the WWE right now. CM Punk is no longer there anymore. Daniel Bryan is currently injured, and he may be out for several more months. He might not even make it to SummerSlam. The Undertaker's streak has finally been broken at WrestleMania. The Shield have finally broken up, prematurely in my opinion. John Cena is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Bad News Barrett, a person that was catching a lot of momentum this year, is now injured and out for several months. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon open up Raw most of the time with a promo for 10 to 20 minutes. The Wyatts have lost pretty much their momentum at this point. The women's division sucks. The tag team division is pretty much non-existent and forgettable. Mid-card belts don't mean anything. Mid-carders don't mean anything. Yeah, that's the WWE right now, folks. And yeah, you'll say stuff like, well, Jericho returned. But how many Jericho returns can you honestly accept before you realize, yeah, okay, Jericho returned, but it's not going to really change anything. Jericho's only going to be there for 3 months, according to certain rumors and reports on news sites. But Jericho's only going to be there for 3 months, and he's going to leave again. So what the F matters? And I need to address something right now. Why is it okay for Jericho to return, and even RVD to return and then leave, but people had a bitch fit when The Rock and Batista did the exact same thing? I need people to address that to me right now, because that's a bit of a double standard. I am not the biggest fan of The Rock. I used to be when I was a kid. Then I grew up and found out how overrated he was in pretty much all aspects, including mic skills. Yes, he's probably one of the best to touch the mic, but is he a top 5 in my opinion? No. I can name 5 better. And I think he barely scratches top 10 in my opinion. But that's just me. So I'm not really a big fan of The Rock now. But how is it that The Rock can come back And he didn't have to come back. That's the thing. He didn't have to come back, in my opinion. But how is it that The Rock can come back and then leave, and people throw a hissy fit about it? But Jericho comes back last Monday night on Raw, and even back in 2012, and he's about to leave in 3 months anyways, and people will be fine, like, that's Jericho. I can't wait until he comes back anyways. What? And yeah, I get it, I guess, because some of the IWC think Jericho's a god, and people think just because Jericho wrestles and acts a certain way that the IWC likes or whatever, that's maybe a reason why. And because and certain people in the IWC still resent The Rock for leaving, quote-unquote, the WWE to go be a movie star. I'll tell you this right now, if I was a wrestler and I got offered a guaranteed career of me being an actor for my acting skills, that I can make over $1 million just doing limited stunts and action, over making half of that or even maybe 3/4 of that wrestling for over 300 days for a year, I'd take the acting gig to preserve my body. Plus, I've done everything in the WWE anyways. Why would I stay longer? So people like you can criticize me anyways and say, man, The Rock used to be awesome, now he sucks now. We gotta think in perspective here, folks. We gotta think about the long term. You guys are missing the forest from the trees. We gotta think a little bit here. So, I can understand why people are not right now tuned to WWE, and probably mainstream wrestling in general. I mean, TNA. In my opinion, however, TNA, since Slammiversary, has gotten a lot better. Partly because EY is no longer the champion and Lashley is a champion. He's been a good, credible champion so far. Let's put that there, so far. But I like Lashley as a world champion right now, and things feel fresher now that he's the champion. There's more emphasis on the wrestling and less on the talking, so much and so forth or whatever. But that is true. TNA has become what they were afraid to be, and that was just a second-rate, watered-down version of the WWE. When they should have been the alternative, they should have been the alternative to people like you that are sick of the WWE, but now you have nowhere to go to because TNA pretty much has copied what they want in sports entertainment, which they know they can never beat the WWE in because the WWE has been doing sports entertainment for 30 years, while TNA's been only here for 12 years. So that makes no sense whatsoever. If WWE is sports entertainment, shouldn't you, as TNA wrestling, be about pro wrestling? In my opinion, anyways. And ROH, I tend to watch ROH sometimes when I feel like it. I feel like people overrate ROH because, it's more emphasis. It's way too much emphasis on the wrestling, and when I say wrestling, pure wrestling and the storylines. It's pro wrestling just because there's a place for in-ring wrestling and spot fest and all that good stuff, but there's also a place in pro wrestling for storytelling, character development, plots, entertainment value, and sometimes ROH does not excel at those attributes. So, ROH is, it's fun if you want to watch pure in-ring action, but I feel like they don't really offer anything else for me, or anybody else for that matter. So yeah, mainstream wrestling in 2014 kind of sucks right now, but unless they pull their heads out of their collective asses, you're just gonna have to deal with it, or just stop watching. And for those people that say, oh man, John Cena's the world champion now, this sucks, man, I'm not gonna watch this again, I'm never gonna buy the WWE Network, I'm not gonna buy their merchandise anymore, I might just stream their pay-per-view anyway. They're the same people that came by this past Monday night to watch Raw just to see what's gonna happen with John Cena. I don't even like the guy. I don't even think he should have won the title on Sunday. But I came into it thinking that Cena was gonna win anyways, so it didn't hurt as much as people thought it would. And people were surprised that Cena won the title anyways. You knew Cena was going to win the title, especially now that Daniel Bryan's going to be out even longer. Of course, Cena's going to be the one to drop it to Lesnar just for Cena to get it back anyways later on at Survivor Series or even at WrestleMania next year. Makes no sense for you guys to be so mad when you should not have been surprised at the slightest. Of course Cena was going to win. But instead of saying, following up to your promise and not watching, you anyway watched the following Monday night. No, I watched it for Johnson. So what? You still gave the WWE a rating with your viewing of a certain segment. You still added to their viewing perspective. And for those that say, oh, when John Cena comes, whenever John Cena comes out for a match or a segment, we should just turn around with our backs turned and not give them a reaction. We should just leave and get something to eat. Who cares? How does that make any sense? That makes no absolute sense whatsoever. If you paid to get into the arena and John Cena comes out and you turn away and you're thinking you're doing something very provocative, who cares? You already paid your money. The WWE already has your money. Once they have your money, they have no more obligation to satisfy your needs. They have no more obligation to give you pleas of what you want. As soon as you paid for your ticket to come to the arena, they already got their dollar from you. They already got their top dollar from you. They don't have to please you anymore. As long as they get a good gate, they can care less. They couldn't care less if you turn your back on John Cena or if you buy a Cena Sucks t-shirt, which is funny because when you buy those Cena Sucks t-shirts, you're giving money to the WWE and John Cena anyways because that's John Cena merchandising anyways. So you can do all that stuff, but the WWE already got your money the second you pay for your ticket to get into the arena. At that point, WWE, in their opinion, and in their right, they have no obligation to give you what you want if you feel like John Cena is the cancer of professional wrestling. Again, that makes no sense. You want to really make change? You really want to make change? Stop watching the WWE. Stop buying their merchandise. Don't buy their WWE network. Stop giving them viewing participation on their shows on Raw and SmackDown and Total Divas and NXT and Main Event and Superstars or whatever the hell. Stop promoting the WWE. If everyone could collectively do that, the WWE would be seeing a lot of stuff going down and they would turn the tide fast. You bet me. If they start going lower than 2.5 ratings for Monday Night Raw, I'll bet you'll see some changes from the WWE. I can guarantee you that. You know why I know that? Because history backs me up. Remember in the mid-90s once Hogan left and the likes of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were the WWE champions? Ratings were down. Buy rates were low. Attendance were garbage. Attendance were terrifying at that time. While WCW was just coming up with Nitro, kicking the WWF's ass, it took the WWF their time to change. And no, it wasn't because the ECW invasion and all that stuff, even though the WWF stole from ECW anyway, so create the Attitude Era. But it was the WWF that had to realize that times are changing, and if you want to change with the times, you've got to evolve or you got to perish. And they wanted to evolve with the times. They wanted to stop letting the money bleed from within their company. And guess what? Attitude Era. That's when the Austins and the Rocks and the Mankinds and the Triple H's and the Mr. McMahons and the Undertakers started coming into fruition. And look, they were making more money than they probably were making during the Hogan era. You can make change in the WWE. It's just going to have to take some willpower. It's going to actually take some balls to follow up to your words. Because if you're just going to bitch about it, if you're going to bitch about it every single week, every single day, every single month about a result that you don't like, but you still give them your attention, you still give them your money, you still give them their viewing audience, if you're still one of those people that bitch about it, but you still give them what they want anyways, then nothing comes out of it, nothing is done about it, and it was all a waste of time. Just think about that. Just honestly think about that. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But, what do I know? I'm just a guy that, just talks about stuff. I'm just a realist or anything. It's nothing really important, right? Well, that was it. Well, so that was my response to that comment. Sorry, went on a WWE/wrestling tirade there, but I just wanted people to understand where I was coming from, and honestly, I just don't see the need to bitch anymore. If you're not gonna follow up to your word, if you're just gonna bark but you're not gonna bite, then what's the point of you talking anymore? What's the point of you trying to make your point when you're not making any point whatsoever? You're not affecting any change. Makes no sense to me personally, but what do I know? I'm just a guy that just watches wrestling and sees people do the same thing over and over again, and it makes no results because they think they're important or whatever. So, whatever. Now I'm going to go on Facebook and answer these certain questions. We've got a lot of them here, actually. Okay, I'm going to try to answer them the best that I can. Okay. Gary Connell Jr. from Facebook asked me, sorry for the multiple questions, but I swear this is the last one, and I'll answer those questions, hopefully, if I can do it on time. It's almost already 30 minutes. I might actually have to answer those questions next week on the newscast. So, and if you want to repeat those questions to me this week, you can do that as well. But I know this is a real old news question, but what were your thoughts about the whole CM Punk Chris Brown feud? Oh my goodness. Okay. So I don't know how it started. I think it started with CM Punk tweeting about. I think it was something Chris Brown related news that at that time, and CM Punk tweeted that him beating up a douchebag like Chris Brown would draw at WrestleMania, which I would pay to see. And then Chris Brown took offense to that and started naming off these old legends that used to be wrestling, and now they're just weak people like CM Punk. And then CM Punk, I think, then CM Punk made a video pretty much verbally bitch slapping Chris Brown about how Chris Brown's not a man, that he had to resort to hitting a female to get his point across. And trust me, there's a lot of women out there that do deserve to get bitch slapped. I don't condone violence. I never put my hands on a woman. I don't encourage it. I don't put my hands on women. Never have, never will. But there are women out there that need to get their, I almost said something. They need to get their stuff just knocked the hell out. I'll put it that way. But CM Punk pretty much said that Chris Brown is a weak man. He's somebody that just talks, but he's not all action. That if they wanted to, they can fight about it, and he'll donate his proceedings to a women's shelter charity, what have you. So my thoughts on that whole thing during that time was, I think Chris Brown, in some ways, is talented. I won't take that away from him. He's making his money, which I won't take away from any artist that does, no matter what my feelings about the person. But he's also a douchebag. I don't think Chris Brown is sincere when he says that he's learned anything, because you can just tell by his behavior he doesn't. He just hasn't. The fact that he had to brag when he won a Grammy, I think that same year, he had to brag about the fact that this is vindication that everything I said was right. It's like, you just won a freaking Grammy. That doesn't mean or erase the fact that you just beat the shit out of Rihanna during a pre-Grammy dinner or something like that. That doesn't justify, nor does it erase that fact. That is something, Chris Brown, that's going to live with you for the rest of your life. Sorry. That's just how the world works. Don't put your hand on females if you don't feel like you're going to take the consequences at hand. So, I was clearly with CM Punk. On that side of the issue. I thought Chris Brown was a douchebag. I think Chris Brown would get his shit clocked by CM Punk. And when that was brought up with my homies, it's just like people were like, "Man, forget CM Punk and all this." It's like, nah, man. Chris Brown's a douchebag, and if he's really about that life, then see CM Punk about it. But nothing ever happened about it. Chris Brown obviously was told to shut up by his publicist or company, or probably just him in general. So that's how I felt about it. I thought CM Punk was in the right, and Chris Brown is a douchebag. Darian Rouse asked me, what do you think of the CAW Leagues today, such as WWE, TNXA, and AWAC? And yeah. And this kind of goes in line with what I was going to talk about with the state of CAW, so I'll just intertwine them together. But when I started with ACW in 2006, I wanted to be different in the sense that I didn't see any CAW Leagues out there that really was really seen in an anime perspective. Now, back then I was watching No DQ CAW, and let me tell you something. Without No DQ CAW, there would be no ACW, because that was the inspiration for me to start ACW. I was the fan of the Link and the Luigis and the Jason Voorhees and the Marios and the Leatherfaces and Mr. Clean, obviously a legend, Jack Sparrow. All those guys in No DQ CAW inspired me to be like, well, what if I can do that with some of my favorite anime characters that I know and maybe some people don't know? Maybe I can put them together in a CAW setting. And that's how ACW was born. And now there were troubles at first, coming up with an ACW name and coming up with stuff like that. But, trying to find a capture card. So during the early days of ACW, and I wish I had those videos again. If my old account wasn't erased, I would have wished to show you guys that. But I was recording with the video as well, with the camera, commentating on the video, so you can hear all these statics and people in the background and stuff like that. Then I was able to get my capture card and stuff, and that's how ACW became what it is today. And I wanna talk to those that wanna aspire to do CAW Leagues like I do. One, be different. Now, don't be different for the sake of being different. Be different because it's something you want to make unique. You know, be unique about what your league wants to be, what you want to stand out as. Don't let anyone tell you different. Number two, have fun. One aspect that I hate about CAW these days now is the fact that people take CAW seriously. CAW isn't a business. It's just a hobby that some of us do in our free time to entertain people that we may know and people we may not know. It's just something for us to do to have fun. But people take it too serious now. People actually get into fights on the internet and maybe even in real life about CAW and all this just stupid stuff about it. Just I've never been a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be involved in that kind of stuff. If you're involved in that kind of stuff, that's your business. But I don't condone. I don't support that stuff. So that's you guys. But have fun. Just have fun. And three, I would also suggest don't use a lot of the characters that you see often in CAW. Like, don't you like the likes of the Supermans or the likes of the Jason Voorhees or the Captain Falcons or what's another one? Spider-Man, obviously. Um, the Mario and Luigi as a tag team. Try to be different, like I said in my first point. Try to be different in the sense that use characters that people don't really use in CAW leagues anymore, or use like characters that people don't know anything about, but you do, and try to introduce your audience to them. That's how I started with Horror Glory. You know, Rave Masters was just a throwaway filler show on a Toonami, a weak-ass Toonami at that time. But I was watching Rave Masters, so people didn't know, well, who the hell is Horror Glory? Maybe a very few knew them. But now that I gradually started the push for Horror Glory from 2007 to now that he's the XL champion, some people know who Horror Glory is. Now TNXA even use Horror Glory as a character for his CAW League. And that makes me proud to see, by the way. So, you know, do stuff like that. And as far as today's CAW Leagues of today, you know, I'm a fan of UCCW. That's Death Damon 3000 on YouTube. I'm a fan of TNXA. That's touring over there with Daily Motion. I think those two CAW Leagues are if they can do certain things to take it to the next level, they can really be the future of CAW Leagues in terms of the fantasy CAW world. How they kind of branched off of ACW, now they're kind of doing their own thing now with their CAW Leagues. I like FVH, Faces vs. Heels CAW with Tim Dangerously. I like his CAW. Just started getting finished with the Crossfire. Got the likes of NCA and OCBF, which are like nice, good comedy leagues. I like those. Always a fan of SCAW. Still one of the best CAW leagues out there today. BWF when it returns, or hopefully returns. I like it. It's different, an all-women CAW league. SCA, another all-woman CAW league that I like too, with Joseph Mathos, one of the best commentators in CAW today. Hopefully, and also with Joe, he's doing a SCA Climax tournament, I believe, and that should be starting soon in, I believe, August. And I will be scouting. Well, obviously I'll be watching, but I'll also be scouting on those matches to see what potential females from SCA may be coming to the ACW Glamour X division in the near future. So, and I let him know about that, and he knows about that. So, that's a good buddy of mine. AWAC, I feel it has potential. You know, it just needs to work it needs to just work on things here and there. WWE TV mixes with WWE superstars and anime characters. That's also a unique way of doing things. Like I said, if you be different and have fun with it, there's no problem with it. I would just ask those two leagues to take it to the next level, because in CAW in 2014, especially on YouTube, you can't really just half-ass it anymore. You've really got to either go all the way or don't go all the way at all. It was different back in 2006, 2007, 2008 when YouTube was still a user-friendly website where you can get away with that kind of stuff and people would like it. But it is 2014 now, and people expect a more higher standard of what you want to bring or present to CAW. So I would just, nothing personal, just I would ask AWAC and WWE TV to just, be consistent and step up their production levels a bit, and I can guarantee you they will thrive. but that's my current situation with CAW right now. I still love CAW. I give back to CAW, and CAW gives back to me. I still love CAW to this day. There's certain aspects of CAW today that I don't like, obviously, but for the most part, I still do love CAW, and I do love the leagues that are coming up in the CAW world. But yeah. And let me see. Torn Anthony Fluker asks, and we're about an hour 40 minutes, so I gotta really end this thing here, but he asks, if you think of the pre-show of TNXA Genesis at the Bell Tower in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, can you commentate the pre-show in the future or not? Hell no. I'm just playing. I'm messing with you. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. The thing is, the reason why I don't commentate on a lot of other colleagues is because I'm not asked a lot. That's really it. I don't mind commentating for other colleagues. I really don't. As long as you send me the video and let me know certain news and items and notes about what's going on in this match or this pre-show or whatever event that you're doing that you're sending to me, I don't mind at all. I really don't mind one bit. I don't mind commentating for other colleagues. It's not like we're all in competition to try to break down or destroy one another's colleague. We're trying to collaborate. We're trying to come together as a whole to make CAW a better environment for everyone to join in. So, if Torn wants to, Torn, owner of TNXA on Daily Motion, but if you want to send me that pre-show, send me that pre-show. I would love to commentate. I would love to do commentary for you guys. I would like to do commentary for TNXA. That goes for any other league, whether it's UCCW, WWE TV, AWAC, BWF, SCAW, SCA, OCBF, NCA, Faces vs. Heels CAW. It doesn't really matter. Any other CAW league out there, I don't mind doing commentary for you guys' league. So just send me the video. Send me some news and notes you want to mention here and there, and I'll commentate on it as soon as possible, and I'll send it back to you guys. That's really all it is about. His second question was, if you got WWE 2K15, are they going to end up like WWE 2K14, including logo limit for Create Arena and Create a Story Freezer CAW and DLC characters? I did not buy WWE 2K14 because I thought 2K14 was majorly flawed, because even though it was still published by 2K, was still developed by THQ before it went bankrupt, so it wasn't a true 2K game. So this upcoming game, WWE 2K15, will be a true 2K game, and I'm really anticipating, excited to see what they may have fixed and what they may have added and what just overall the game is going to be. So hopefully they do fix some of those freezes. I did hear about a lot of complaints with Create a Story freezing on WWE 2K14 and the logo limit for Create Arena, which I think is silly. Because if you're trying to be next generation with games and consoles in general in the video game industry, you want to do more and you want to improve on things that should be improved on already. So I hope WWE 2K15 is better than 2K14 to the point where maybe next year I can do ACW on 2K15 and really have fun doing a lot of things. But I already have my storyline set up for next year, and trust me, you guys are gonna, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything. So, and 3, what are your final thoughts on TNXA Impact Episode 6? I have not watched the full episode yet. I still haven't caught up with Episode 6 of TNXA. I just finished FVH's Crossfire just now, just like a few days ago. Just finished SCAW's recent Superstar Clash. So I'm trying to catch up on these colleagues. But don't worry, Torrin. TNXA's on my list. Don't worry about it. I got you, man. I got you, bro. I got you. And Joshua Howell will end this Q&A session because we are almost close to 50 minutes here. What are your thoughts on UWO coming back? And what made you want to bring the Get Backers and the Dark Magicians to ACW? To answer the second question, I kind of answered already early in the newscast. With the Get Backers, I love the show, and I watched the English dub. Here's one thing I hate about anime in the sense that I hate when people, when I watch anime, they do the whole debate with English dubs versus Japanese subs. I hate that with a passion. If the show is good, the show is good. If the show you watch is an English dub and it's good, that's fine. If the show you watch has Japanese subs but it's with English subtitles but it's in Japanese and it's still good to you, then fine. It doesn't matter. As long as the show is effing good, the show is effing good. It does not matter. Quit trying to put a war between those two. It's stupid. That's my opinion. But anyways, I watched the English dub of the Get Backers. The dialogue could have been a little bit better, like I said, and I think they rushed on certain aspects during the second season, which they could have expanded for a season or two if they had done another season or two. But I like the show, and a lot of people have always suggested I bring the Get Backers to ACW. There were always two teams that people wanted me to bring to ACW when the tag team division started really developing. That was the Get Backers and Code Geass. Those two teams they wanted me to bring in to ACW, and they really wanted me to bring the Get Backers in for quite some time. And I felt, you know what? Let me watch the anime because I never got the chance to watch it. I watched it. I love it. And I can see why people want me to bring the Get Backers. So I brought the Get Backers. So that's pretty much why I brought them back. And as for the Dark Magician, the reason why I brought the Dark Magician was because I always, for some reason, I always had some sort of fascination with the Dark Magician on Yu-Gi-Oh. Something about the Dark Magician, maybe his mystique or his aura, or just something about the way he presents himself, always kind of attracted me to his character, just him in general. And it's something that I wanted to bring to ACW for quite a while too. That, and you want to shake up the roster, because let's face it, let's be honest, guys. I know you guys are tired of seeing some of the same matches on ACW, so time to shake up a few things with the roster. So I thought the Dark Magician would be a nice addition as well to ACW. As for UWO coming back, did not see that coming. I'm excited for UWO to come back with Nick Gemini. Again, UWO was part of that class along with DWA and SCAW and NGW back in the, I think I want to say, late 2000s. Yeah, late 2000s. So around 2008, 2009, 2010 when those guys were out there. Or even 2007, sorry. But UWO was part of that class with NGW, SCAW, and DWA back at that time with CAW. And UWO was always a league that I was kept my eye on. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Nick brings to the table this year for 2014 and beyond with UWO coming back, and I will be paying attention. And hopefully we can do business with each other again. As long as you're helping the business. As long as you're helping CAW in general, you're helping CAW in general. That's all that matters. So thank you, Joshua High, for those questions, and thank you guys for all your questions and comments today for this edition of the ACW Newscast. We are almost 50 minutes. This has to be my longest newscast that I've ever done. And this might even get longer by the time we get to Animania 3 when I have to do those two newscasts. But thank you for joining me for this ACW newscast this week. You guys got two newscasts this week. Make sure you guys send in your questions and comments so I can answer them for next Friday night. And hopefully, we can do this all again. Hopefully at a shorter, condensed time, because I have a life, guys. Can't be always appeasing to you guys with your questions and comments. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just love you guys. But as I said, this is Hakeem Johnson telling you guys always to stay cool, stay cool. See you guys next week.